Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs. I have attempted to make this video 5 freaking times now, and I'm starting to cuss Jeff for even getting me involved in this mess. No, what's going on? I'm hanging in the garage, chilling, wanting to make some videos, and down the road from my house is a bar, Hazard County Bar, I think it's called. Never been there, but apparently it's bike night. So I'm trying to make this video, trying to collect my thoughts, lube up the old political brain, and I'm hearing these bikes revving, and they're just tearing off, and I don't know if the bike night's coming to an end or not, but every time I start concentrating, I hear somebody firing up a hog, and I just can't help myself. I'd like to be on it right now. Man, I'll tell you, I haven't rode a bike in a long time, but man, I miss that. I really do. I miss that a lot. So yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to gather my political thoughts with knowing that there's somebody having so much fun not very far from me. But anyway, I'm going to try to muster through this because this is, it's not overly important, but I kind of feel like I need to say something. I'm going to dedicate this whole video to the ladies, because I am a ladies' man. Well, maybe you don't know that, but I am, damn it. Or at least I used to be. Some people may claim I'm a has-been. I don't know. So, Michelle Bachmann announced today that she was not going to seek re-election for her congressional seat from Minnesota. And, yeah, I have to admit, it really kind of bummed me out. And there's a lot of things at play, but before I really go into all of that, I do want to publicly just say thank you to Michelle Bachmann. Thank you for your contribution to this country. Thank you for your contribution to the Tea Party movement. And thank you for your staunch defense of the Constitution. I wish there were more like you. I really do. I honestly do. And there was a time that I was really pulling for you when you were a front runner for the presidential nomination, for the Republican nomination. And I will tell anybody that's listening that we are going to be a much, much, much poorer nation, intellectually wise, spirit wise, heart wise, politically wise, once she's no longer a congressman. And that's just the truth. And we would have been blessed to have her occupying the Oval Office right now. Blessed. So having said all that, let's dissect some of this. Michelle Bachmann. Let's dissect this because I think this is kind of important. I'll tell you this, and this really upsets me. And I really noticed it come on hardcore when Sarah Palin was on the main stage. And I mean the main stage when she was running for vice president. The left, the liberal left, the progressives, they've always been the champion. Now, when I say always, I'm being facetious. They've always been the champions of women's rights and gay rights and the rights of the poor. And, they wrapped themselves in this this robe or this flag of liberalism that it's really pathetic because it's so much bullshit. That's the problem. That's the problem. I don't want to dive too much into the why it's bullshit as far as, the fact is they're not for the poor. They create more poor every day. They're the poor's worst enemy. They've got these people hoodwinked. I'm not going to get into that. Same thing with minorities. Same thing with gay people. They've literally used these people as useful idiots to get their votes. And it's managed to keep them in power, and it's just pathetic. So the reason I even bring any of that up is because I remember when Sarah Palin was on the center stage next to John McCain, and I remember very vividly watching the left come unhinged. Because, the very thought of the first vice president being a woman that wasn't a Democrat wasn't something they were going to sit still for. The very thought that there would be a woman taking votes away from them, from the liberal left, from the feminists, the feminazis. I mean, they like to think they have the minorities and women and all this stuff wrapped up. I mean, that's under their tent. That stuff is under their tent. So whenever there's a woman or a person of color or anybody really outside of what they try to paint as Republicans, which are rich old white men, they become rabid. I mean, literally rabid, and not only rabid, but they become shameless beyond their usual shameless. They're always shameless. But I mean, it just becomes crazy. The things that they did to Sarah Palin just blew me away, and the fact that the media was complicit in it. The media took an active role in destroying her. Literally, I would listen to Republicans, who were clearly being indoctrinated and brainwashed by the media. I would listen to them talk about Sarah Palin as if she was retarded, as if she was one step above, if even one step above her son that had Down syndrome. I would listen to them describe her in ways that made the average person that didn't know any better would have thought, this woman can't even dress herself. How she wipes her own ass is beyond anybody. She surely isn't cooking. You wouldn't want her about anywhere close to a stove. She's liable to burn the house down. Forget the fact that, here's a woman who literally started out with the, PTA in her children's school and with the city council, and then became a mayor, and then became, a governor of a state, But she's too stupid to walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. I mean, the way they laid this whole character assassination out was just amazing to me. Absolutely amazing, to the point where Republicans were sucking it up. I've talked to Republicans, if Sarah Palin wasn't on the ticket, John McCain would have done much. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't have even voted for that. I would literally have abstained had it not been for Sarah Palin, because the rhino John McCain wasn't somebody that I was even remotely interested in backing, period. So, but not to make this all about Sarah Palin, because this is really about Michelle Bachmann, but I just wanted to kind of set the stage that the character assassination of minorities and women, and it's by the left, is epic. And it's amazing to me that, it illustrates the total patheticness of the media, because what the media is, listen, we know what they are. They are what they are, and Sarah Palin nailed them down back then. It's literally all about gotcha media. It's all about left-wing nonsense. They are leftists is what they are, period. Well, I don't know, real quick as a side note, Larry King just took a job with the Putin administration. He's apparently now working for Russia Today, which is funded by the Kremlin. I don't know why anybody's surprised. This is his payoff, for being a good commie all these years. So, whatever. But, getting back to the females of politics here and what goes on, and really the shamelessness of the whole thing, it really troubles me to think that Republican women cannot get ahead at all, not because of Republicans, but because of Democrats and they're basically their corrupted media, So we get to Michelle Bachmann, who, it was funny because it was difficult for them to go at Michelle Bachmann with the same narrative that they used with Sarah Palin. Said Sarah Palin had a degree, but it wasn't anything fabulous. Her grades weren't that great in college. Hey, listen, we know more about Sarah Palin's grades in college than we will ever know about Barack Obama's, who has sealed those records, and they've never been shown to anybody. Okay, but whatever. They could parade Sarah Palin's C average around, and in a lesser school. She went to several different colleges trying to figure out what she wanted to do with her life, and whatever. And so they basically painted Sarah Palin as being like I said, one step above retardation. Well, they couldn't do that with Michelle. With Michelle, it was a little more complicated because Michelle actually had advanced degrees and was extremely intelligent under anybody's magnifying glass. It would be very, very difficult for them to paint her as being stupid. Okay, so what'd they do? No, they painted her as being crazy. So she may not be stupid, but she's as crazy as a shithouse rat. And the media just ran with it. And here's the thing. And this is what kills me, too, about Republicans, because I swear to God, If you are a Republican, you just need to not watch CNN. You need to just not watch ABC, CBS. You don't listen. No, don't watch any of them, because they have an agenda, and that agenda is to literally brainwash you. They will tell you something over and over and over until it starts cracking into your skull and becomes part of the way you think. That's the truth. That is literally, I watched it. This is exactly what happens. So, you got Michelle Bachmann, who is an intelligent woman, but all of a sudden she's crazy. I remember they caught one picture of her, and listen, you take enough pictures of somebody, you take enough photographs, and you see this. They've got photographs that make Michelle Obama look like Sasquatch. I mean, that one famous photo of the Sasquatch walking through the woods, or on the other side of the field with the woods as the background. You know what I'm talking about. Same stride, Michelle Obama. And I'm laughing at it, but the truth of the matter is that you get enough pictures taken of you, there's going to be one of them that's going to look funky in some way. So they found a photo of Michelle Bachmann. They had her eyes looking a little crazy, and sometimes we all look a little crazy, and they just happened to catch her at the right moment, and so then they plastered that everywhere. I mean, I can still remember when Michelle Bachmann went on, not Jimmy Kimmel, but that one douchebag that was on Saturday Night Live, and I can't think of his name offhand because I never watched this crap, but anyway, she went on his show, and the band played some song that was called Crazy Bitch or something like that. I mean, it's just it's amazing to me. Just absolutely amazing. So the narrative was that she was nuts, that she was crazy, she was a teabagger, she was just, 10 gallons of crazy poured into a 5-gallon bucket. And that's what they ran with, and they destroyed her, and they never stopped trying to destroy her, just like with Sarah Palin. Here's the thing about the left. Whenever anybody comes off the reservation, okay, and what I mean by that is if you are a female or if you're a person of minority status, colored, listen to me, colored. Okay, let me rewind that. What the hell? I mean, I can use the word colored because they still call the NAACP the National Organization of Advancement of Colored People, so whatever. We'll pretend it's 1950. If you're a black person in this country and you want to be a Republican, you will be destroyed, period. If you are a woman in this country and you want to be a Republican or conservative, you will be destroyed, period. And not only destroyed while the election is going on, you'll continue to be destroyed until you are destroyed, okay? Sarah Palin, they've never let up on her, ever. I mean, it's almost like, they look at her as somebody that's going to rise from the dead and come after them in their sleep, and it's like they just don't stop. And the same thing with Michelle Bachmann. And Michelle Bachmann, she took the fight to them. I'll give her that. I mean, she did. Not that Sarah Palin didn't, because Sarah Palin did a lot of good work, yeoman's work, getting a lot of people elected to their positions. But Michelle Bachmann, I'll be honest with you, she didn't give a rat's ass if the Republican establishment didn't like what she was doing. She was going to stick to the Constitution, and that was it. It wasn't even open for discussion. And that was the Tea Party in her. I mean, literally. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I dare I say that the announcement that Michelle Bachmann is not going to run for re-election is probably equally, if not more, better received from the Republican establishment, Bonner and whatnot. Honestly. Because the truth of the matter is that she wasn't somebody that was interested in playing their games, playing their political bullshit. She was interested in defending the United States Constitution. She was interested in doing what was right for the United States people. And the sad thing about it is that here's a woman who, she literally ran for president and did a fair job of it, in my opinion. I mean, sometimes you got to Ronald Reagan had to run a couple of times. People don't realize that, but Reagan actually didn't get the nomination when he first ran for it. And who was it that got it? Damn it. And I can't think of. I don't remember. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But the thing of it is, bottom line, Michelle Bachmann was strong and she did all right. But, ultimately in the end, whether it's the Republican establishment or the Democrats, it's a shame just to watch somebody that had so much promise be destroyed, literally. And here she was, she barely won re-election in the House the last time. I think she won by like 1,500 votes. I mean, almost nothing. And this time, she was going to be running against a seriously wealthy Democrat. And it didn't look like it was something that she was going to be able to pull off. And now here's the thing, okay? She realized that she had political baggage. Now, I call it, baggage full of honor, but they were political baggage nonetheless. And she realized that she probably wasn't going to be able to defeat this guy, okay? And I don't think she really wanted her seat to go to this Democrat, to this liberal nut job, this Nancy Pelosi retread. I mean, literally. So I think what she's decided to do is to step out, and I believe they've probably, or at least she has somebody in mind that probably has a better chance, that doesn't have the political baggage that she has. I know it's sad, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me in the least bit if that was what her thought process was, her mentality was. It would not surprise me, because she's an American, she's a true American. And, her career should be celebrated by all of us, regardless if she represented us or not. And women around this country, Democrat, independent, Republican women, all of you should look at her and be proud. She was a strong woman. Now, yes, I know that the National Organization for Women vilified her. I know that. I know that they attacked her. I know they spent money to try to destroy her. I realize that. But that's just another reason for women around the world to look at the NOW organization as the joke that it is. It's not for the advancement of women at all. It may be for the advancement of liberal women, but how does that serve women as a whole? It doesn't. It doesn't. In fact, in a lot of ways, it hurts you and sets you back, because it makes it okay in a lot of people's minds to just blatantly, without warrant, attack females, to attack women. It makes it okay, because NOW's doing it. The National Organization of Women's doing it. They're doing it, so it must be okay. Same thing with when Herman Cain. On the other side of the fence, when Herman Cain was running, really the first credible. And I mean, not taking nothing away from Ambassador Alan Keyes, because I love that man. But, I think that Herman Cain was probably the first real credible, and I can't say this because it does take away from Alan Keyes. Alan Keyes is a brilliant, brilliant man. But Herman Cain had a shot, okay? I don't think Alan Keyes could ever say that he ever had a shot. Maybe he'd disagree with that. I don't know. Like I said, I love the man. But the truth of the matter is that, Herman Cain had to be brought down. Listen, he left the reservation. Or no, actually, and his words exactly was he left the Democrats' plantation. Yeah, plantation. There he was, running through the fields, hound dogs barking, Taskmaster riding a horse, and there's Herman running like hell, trying to get off that plantation, and in the end, they got him. They had dragged him right back. Well, I shouldn't say they didn't drag him back. But then again, I have seen him pundit a few times on MSNBC, so maybe they did. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, honestly, seriously, there was no way in hell the Democrats or the left-wing media was going to allow Herman Cain to become the nominee for the Republican Party. There was no way in hell. Now, they had no real evidence against him. There was no bimbo eruptions like with Bill Clinton. There was none of the real hard evidence. There was a couple of women who claimed X, Y, and Z, and they came out basically for money. It didn't matter that there was no credibility to these women whatsoever. It didn't matter. What mattered to the left-wing establishment, what mattered to the left-wing media, was that they could hang him. And, it didn't surprise me at the least bit. The first chick that came out was white. Didn't shock me. I'm sure that was by design. Because nobody plays the race card like the Democrats. Nobody plays, any of those bullshit cards like the Democrats do. And they will divide and conquer. They will set race relations back 20 years. As long as they can win a race, as long as they can get ahead. They don't care. That's why it always amazes me when I look at minorities, and these minorities actually think that the Democrats are the ones that are looking out for them. And in reality, the Democrats are not looking out for them. The Democrats, whether you're a black man, black woman, white woman, makes no difference. Whatever minority you happen to be, the Democrats want you on their plantation. That's exactly where they want you. And that's exactly where they're going to keep you with the help of the media. You know, listen, what time is it? I mean, what I do with my glasses, I get my glasses on to see where I'm at with this video. 20 minutes. Yeah, I kind of did you guys a long one last time. I guess I can do it again. Let me know in the comment section if you minded that it was 30 freaking minutes long or real close to that, something like that. I was going to break it up, but then I thought, I hadn't had a lot to say in a long time, so I just let it roll. I know some of you dig it, some of you don't. Some of you probably listened to about 30 seconds of it and said, oh, hell, clicked off. I don't know. I will tell you one thing, I enjoyed doing that, and I'm enjoying doing this. So let me know in the comment section what you think about Michelle Bachmann. If you don't like her, just tell me. Same thing with Sarah Palin. I have defended Sarah Palin a lot over the last few years on my channel. And to this day, I defend her as being a real American and a whole lot smarter than people ever gave her credit for. And I'll tell you, she has done more to put Republicans in office by stumping for them. Her success rate in that was pretty phenomenal. And it was funny because I would listen to some of these pundits badmouth her success rate when it literally blew away anybody else's. 100% of the people that she campaigned for did not win, but a pretty impressive percentage compared to anybody else. So, yeah, I mean, I've always stuck up for Sarah, and, and I know there are people who just, they bought into that nonsense that she was an idiot. I think she would have made a really great president. I really, really do. Deep down in my heart, that's the way I feel. She was a great governor. And of course, I had some inside knowledge to things that a lot of people I don't think did. I've dealt with oil and gas companies, and I know what it's like to negotiate with those people. Energy companies in general. I've negotiated contracts with oil and gas companies. I've negotiated contracts with coal companies. And I will tell you that these are some brutal, brutal bastards, and they're good at their game, and they've been doing it for a very long time. And, the minute that I found out that Sarah Palin sat across the table from some of the biggest players on the planet in the oil business, and she took it to them and got a better deal for Alaska than anybody had ever gotten before, I was like, knowing what she went through personally. I mean, I've personally been there. I had to take my hat off to her. I really did, because I don't think people really can comprehend what a great job she did as governor. And there are a lot of people like, well, yeah, but she quit. Oh, she's a quitter. That's a narrative that was really pounded by the left. But the fact of the matter is, say what you want, they made her job impossible to do. And Sarah Palin, much like Michelle Bachmann, put her constituents first. And I really do, by the way, I really do think that's what was going on with Michelle Bachmann. In the end, I think she realized that if she ran, she was going to lose. And that seat, that House seat of hers, that conservative House seat of hers would be lost to the Democrats. And I really do think that she thinks that there's somebody else there that can at least have a chance. So she's a very selfless act. And so same thing with Sarah Palin. I mean, they were how many lawsuits they have against her. They were hounding her. Like I said, the Democrats, the liberal media, are not the communists. That's what they are. I mean, let's be real about this. They're fucking communists. They were not going to let Sarah Palin continue her job as governor. They couldn't. They just couldn't. They were not going to allow Michelle Bachmann to continue her job. No, could not have that happen. No. She had to go. And it's one of those things. I mean, and I got to tell you, they're brave and strong women for sure. Beyond a doubt, brave and strong women. Because, this communist machine, look, I know it's going to make this video a whole lot longer, but if you've lasted this long, do me a favor and last a little bit longer, because I think it's going to be worth it to you. I'm no fan of communism at all. I hate communism. I grew up in a time where almost weekly you would see stories of East German border guards trying to shooting and killing people that was trying to escape to the West. And so I understood the whole philosophy of communists build walls to keep people in, Whereas the free people, the capitalists, well, truthfully, do need to build some walls, but it ain't to keep people in. It's to keep people out. But that's the thing, and I look at it that, some people may say I have a very simplified look of the world, but the truth of the matter is, to me, it is simple. It's black and white. You've got good, you've got evil. You've got freedom, you've got oppression. And there's no in between. And I look at communists and I look at just the other day somebody was throwing McCarthy in my face. And I'm like, what are you throwing in my... The dude was right. He said that we were up to our eyeballs in communists in this country. He was right. He said that the entertainment industry and the media was full of communists, and he was right. Period. But in the end, they got the best of them. But he did take some shots at him. I'll give him that. But, and it's the thing. Let me give you an example. Krista Blade put a video up, and she was selling, she was selling 8x10 photos of her, and different ones, I don't know. But she named it, and I actually, to be honest with you, I actually kind of gave her the name for the video because I've told her and always told her there's a lot of communists. Every time she's ever went to sell something, there's always been a bunch of people who have had something to say about it because they don't believe that you should be making money. They don't believe in private enterprise. They don't believe in capitalism. They're communists. This is what they are. It's that simple. And so she did make a fair amount of money the last time she sold those things. I mean, a decent amount of money, nothing to sneeze at. And, there were a lot of people who asked her for something smaller. They didn't want a big poster, but they wanted an 8x10 or something like that. And so she provided that. That is business 101. Find a demand for something and then fulfill that demand. That's what you do. And that's what she's doing. I know a lot of people don't understand why people would buy photos of her or whatever. But you know what? How many? Listen, when I grew up, I had a poster of Farrah Fawcett hanging on my bedroom wall. It's simple. It's not complicated. So anyway, so she names the video I think it was Capitalism versus Communism 101 or something to that effect. And oh my God. and at the beginning of her video, she says, look, and she takes after me on this. And I know a lot of it is, maybe some people would say I'm indoctrinating her, but, and maybe I am. But for the, cause of freedom and liberty and justice and all that other good stuff, freedom. She basically said at the beginning of her video, she said, listen, if you're a communist, this is what she said. She goes, I am an unapologetic capitalist. And if you are a communist, do not let the screen door hit you on the ass. Bye-bye. Something to that effect. Well, the video wasn't a debate of communists versus, capitalism. That wasn't what it was about. It was about her selling 8x10 photos of herself. And her little message at the beginning was basically just a shot at the people who are communists that don't believe you should be selling anything, all this other crap. Basically want you to be on the government tit, I guess. I don't know. And these communists, they believe everything in the world should be free. I mean, they don't pay to watch her videos, but they damn sure didn't want her to make any money, But those are the communists. So anyway, oh my God, she calls me a couple of days ago, I guess it was, and she said, the trolls are on the loose. The commies they've got me surrounded. I'm pinned down, and I took a look and I'm like, holy shit. And there was literally, look, that video's got like 30,000 views on it. Yeah. And the majority of the views are from people, overwhelming majority, are the views communists. Literally, communists from all over the world. All over the world, communists. Who wanted to attack her and wanted to, it was funny because the one nice thing about YouTube is that you have tools to deal with trolls. I mean, you can turn off your ratings. You can put comments on approval only. I mean, it's beautiful. Though the trolls hate it. They hate that because they think they should be able to come and take a big old shit in your living room and then, spit at you and walk out the door. That's what they believe they should be. They believe it's their First Amendment right. And that's the funniest thing. These communists, and most of them aren't even from this country, spewing that their First Amendment rights were being violated. By young Krista Blade not allowing them to speak. Because she literally approved or disapproved, whatever, either approved or did not approve everybody's comments. And you want to talk about some whiny bitches. And it was so funny because she would tell me things like, this one guy said X, Y, and Z, so I didn't approve his comment, and I was going to go over to his channel to tell him that he wasn't going to be allowed to spew his communist nonsense on my video. And what part of the things that this guy was accusing her of being a dick about was that she was denying him his First Amendment right, and the guy was from like somewhere in Europe. His First Amendment rights. He should be allowed to say whatever he wants to say over on her channel. And she was going to go over there and tell him, look, this is my house. If you want your First Amendment rights, open up your own YouTube channel. You can say whatever you want. The fact of the matter is, this is my house, and you're not coming into my living room and calling me a bitch. That's just not going to work. And I wouldn't allow it. And so, anyway, so she goes over there to tell him this, and of course, he has friend lock on, so she can't send him this message. It's just the irony of it all, the irony of it all. But she said to me, she goes, Uncle Rich, there's a lot of communists. I said, yeah, there's a lot of communists, and you better realize that. And there's a fair amount of them in this country too, and they would like us to literally be a communist country. Some of the nonsense that people were spewing was just amazing to me. Talking about, here's the problem with, this is a whole different separate video. I'm not even going to go down this road because I'm going to tell you something. I have a lot to say about it, but I'm already at 31 minutes. I do need to do a separate video just on communism because let me tell you something, people. We need to be vigilant. We need to wake up because communism is on the rise in this country. You can call me crazy if you want. You can tell me, this is all by design, New World Order, whatever the hell you want to say. But I'm going to tell you right now that there is a movement afoot that is nothing but communism, period. So, anyway, having said that, like I said, that's a whole another video, and I'll get to that eventually. Hopefully you guys are all still here, and if you are, thank you very much. Hopefully this video turned out okay. I have no idea. But anyway, everybody take care. See ya!